Greetings and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well today. I'm guided by Spirit, and I'm recording this episode July 28. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. All cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. So here we have an infamous serial killer case coming out of South Africa, and Daisy de Melker is recorded as the first female serial killer in South Africa, and she was executed on December 30th, 1932. Now, there's been a lot of mystery around this case, because there was a court case convicting her. There was a court case alleging that she had murdered two of her husbands, including her son, Rhodes Cecil Cowley. However, during the court case, they could only prove that she had poisoned her son. So there's always been the mystery around, did she actually kill the two husbands, poison, as well as Rhodes? So we're going to look at the dates in which the sequences happened. So I've got Daisy's date of birth here on the left-hand side on the top. The first husband was William Cowley, and in fact, all her husbands were plumbers. So her first husband, William, second husband, Robert, and then she actually married a de Melker out of Kimberley here in South Africa, and that's how she got the de Melker surname. But she is actually a subject of the British Empire, Daisy Louisa, and then her birth name, Hunnicorn Smith. And of course, at the time of the crime, South Africa, as well, it's not the same as today, but it was ruled by the British at that time. And in fact, just after this crime, the transition started happening, or the conflict between the Boers and the British. So this crime took place at a time when there was no real technology as we know it today. Now, William Cowley passed on January the 11th. Now, what we're going to do in this case study is to look at evidence of poison. So poison equals 6. Now, there will be other numbers that will confirm the poison, right? So I've just spotted here, I briefly looked over everything as I was putting out the numbers, and I believe we're in for some interesting news here for those that are familiar with the case. And this is in the 1920s, we have our first serial killer here, right? So, okay. So when I pulled out the dates with William and Robert being the second husband, on the day that they murdered, look how clear numerology is. 27-9, premeditation. Let's just do both. 27-9, premeditation. And it's interesting with numerology in these days. It always feels like when there's less energy around, less noise, less pollution, everything seems a bit clearer. Because the sequence of William and Robert are identical. So we have the 18-9, which is a indication of murder. So already in both cases, and the year that the crime took place is a 15-6, which does bring around the sixes, but when that happens, I rather prefer that there's more evidence of it, right? then we know without a shadow of a doubt. So already on the day that both the husbands pass, there's evidence of murder. Okay. So let's stick with William. Now, the motive for the murders, of course, the old famous money murders. And in this case, Daisy was claiming insurance money on the passing of her husbands. And in those days, she was making huge money. I believe one of the payouts, more or less, don't quote me, welcome to go research, but at the time, one of the husbands, she inherited like £1,400. In those days, it was huge. Now, full disclosure as well, approximately 4 years ago, I actually researched the story, not the case. I researched the story for a movie. So now here I find myself looking at it from a different perspective. So the issue around money, and this is for me, I'm already getting tingles all over my body. 1910-1. Money. Money for murder. 9, murder. And that was the key element in her modus operandi, apart from the poison, was to get the money. And ironically, she was being sued by, I believe, Robert's brother. And she ended up losing everything while she was defending herself in court on the murder trial. So on the reflection day, the full summary day, 14-5, foul play. And we also note that Daisy has a 5 in the year that she's born as well. But foul play, 15-6, look there, 15-6 3 times. 15-6 3 times. Let's zoom in there. Here we have 3 6s, problems. Evidence, in my opinion, of poison. And I mentioned this in the previous show, and it's amazing how shows lead me up to the next one, right? Poison, 6. All these 6s, poison. And here is further confirmation, beg your pardon. 33. And I'm going to write this down here for you. 3 equals chemicals. 3 equals chemicals. And when you have a 33, now we're looking from a chemical point of view because it's poison, is like, if you want to take it on the literal, a double dose, a triple dose, beg your pardon. 33 is like a bomb, a chemical bomb going off in the body. And look at the outcome, 12, 3, 12, 3, bingo. Bingo. So in the reflection zone, we are seeing a chemical explosion which brings around the disarray of 6, evidence of mass poisoning, 12-3, 12-3. There's evidence of money trail, if you want to, because that was her motive, money. Not good. And even look on this day here, if we have to look at what happens leading up. Here's another day, January 8, all these sixes. There's always poison around this woman. Now we must also realize in this time frame, and like I said, I did research on this, on the era that this happened, or the period, is you could walk into a chemist and buy strychnine. Obviously, you got to register your name. But in one of the accounts, she used an old name to get poison either for her son or her second husband, but she had falsified her names. But you could walk into a chemist and buy strychnine. Like you'd buy your weekly or monthly pills for the month or whatever you need. You can go in and buy strychnine. So the day Robert passes, we also have the 27/9/18/9. Now, of course, we're in a transaction year, but not to sound like a broken record, we need more evidence, right? So if we jump to, so here's evidence, of course, of more money. This is a different 1910-1. So we got mass 1910-1s. Lots of money numbers here. So without a doubt, money in play. So if we go to, and you see how it matches. Same MO, in other words, same MO, same person, same reason. So this is quite horrible, this 9, because this 9 already brings around the issue of murder, hey? But look here, 30, chemical explosion. And there were other stuff that they used in the day. And the outcome 12/3. Now I'm just looking for the poison. I mean, we can say it in the chemicals. Look here, look at all these 1910-1. There's 3 of them here. This is catastrophic. Now, I believe it was it Sprout? This is where the lawsuits came around, the property and the money, because Robert had good money. I'm just looking for evidence of the poison. We have evidence of chemicals. All money. A law has been broken, 11/2. I must actually look up. Let's just have a look here. So we've got a 6 on the day. There's the first hint of poison. Three, 6, 9, poison. Innocent death, 7. So we see the arrival of the poison here. Look here, 33/6. And just to add, Daisy was actually a nurse. So very good in hiding situations, hiding things. But hide as much as you want, numerology will find you. Here's it here, 33-6, poison 6. And I would have believed, because if you read the backstory, Robert was ill for a while. It was ongoing. So in his case, the systems just collapse, right? And here's it here, everything collapses. The body collapses because she was microdosing this guy. 33-6, 24-6, here's it here, open, 33-6, murder with intent. So we're going to go this line. 34-7 is a close contact spousal murder number. 35-8 speaks about the horrendous attack on the body, biology. This would have been a terrible death. 36-9, the poison creates the murder. All about the money. So there's evidence of the chemicals. Double 11 twos on the reflection day. She's done this before. We could even stretch that 11-2, 11-2. So same outcomes, but I believe in the case of Robert, we would have to go a little bit back, because if I recall, he was ill for quite a while. So she was slowly poisoning this guy to the point where, here it is, 35-8, the body gives up. 35-8, the body gives up. Microdosing. So in my opinion, of course, as she got older or more experienced, it wouldn't just be in one lump sum, right? It would be gradually kill her husband for all this money. Look at all these 10 ones here. And he was well off in the standards of the day. All these 10s, that's huge money. I mean, based on the record, when she received all of this money, she got all of the money. She was able to take a cruiser to the UK, go visit, go shopping, buy cars, buy bikes. It was that kind of money. And go live in the UK for a while. It was that kind of money. So March 4, so let's just get this, because this, March 4 is the day that he actually, this is the sun now, right? March 4 is the day that he passes. But according to record, on March the 2nd, have a look here. March the 2nd, he falls ill. And the reason why he falls ill is his mom gives him a flask of coffee that morning. So he has 5. There's the evil human number. And speaks to drugs. But we'll go deeper. Gives him a flask of coffee to take with to go to work. Now, what happens at work is he shares the coffee with a colleague. However, the colleague had a small amount of coffee, but of course, over the course of the day, Rhodes had the whole flask. (22) can speak about stomach issues, the stomach. because again with him, he progressively got ill, right? And medically, he was suffering from malaria. Okay, so he would have cyclical, or he'd have annual bouts of malaria. But now, oh, look there, look here, with Rhodes on the next day. So, beg your pardon, before we go to the next day, so the day ends with an 11-2. It's 50-50 situation. It's a 50-50 situation. So look what we have in the case of Rhodes. There's a conflict here between the two of them. And based on the research that I did, Rhodes was a handful. Rhodes was a handful. So we've got a conflict here. 3 + 3 years, a conflict here between her and her son. Now, if you want to, based on the research, I mean, he would have emotional outbursts, that kind of thing. But Daisy was struggling to manage him properly. She would get him jobs and he would lose a job. Then he would get him another job and then he would mess up or whatever. He was a bit of a, based on the research, a little bit of a basket case. But there's no need to murder the child, right? So 3-3 talks about control and control issue. Also a feminine number, 3. So also present on the day. So this is the day after he consumes the coffee. And in the court case, this was the only case they could prove. There was, I forget the name of the poison, so I don't want to say the name of the poison, but there was evidence of physical evidence in that flask. All the 6s. And the outcome, because technically he's going to die now, right? The outcome is also 12-3. The case with Robert, I believe she was dosing him way before this, because when I did the research, he was quite sick for a long time. Weeks on weeks ill, until the body collapsed. So that's why there's a slight difference, although the outcomes are the same. She did the poison part. It's now the biology taken over that causes the collapse. And in Rhodes's case, she just dolloped him with a nice dose of poison there in his coffee. Almost killed the other person at work. The other person at work was sick for days. So on this day, the day after he drinks the coffee, look at this chaos here. Now, she had just married Melker at this stage, just before. Or it was still a new marriage. And he was well-to-do. He was a Springbok rugby player, Melker. He was well-known in the community. And when she moved in with him and taking the son with, it was causing a bit of an issue for her. Because now she was in the real high society money-making motherfuckers, right? And the son was becoming an issue. One thing I'll never understand, and I don't believe anyone will understand, is how a parent can kill a child. Their own child, their own flesh and blood. That would be a mystery. So the day after he drinks his poison-laden coffee, which was proven in court, we can see what the numbers are doing here. And then he passes on March the 4th. And here's that alarming number, 22-4. Planned. Premeditation. And by all accounts, he suffered. Poison's not a good thing. So if we take March the 3rd, because we can see the chaos happening there, right? And then we make March the 6th the reflection day of what happened that day. Look at all those sixes. The devil. She poisoned her own son. Excuse me, but... So here we have evidence. All the sixes. That is crazy, man. So the day he dies, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The day he dies. So the day he dies, March 4, is March 7 now, the reflection day, right? Look what's in the middle here. Well, first of all, let's just first say 7, innocent death. Death of a child. Death of a child. What's in here? For the better of the family and money. 10-1, money. So she also got money from him. His death, £100 in those days. She cashed it in the next day. As per record, she cashed... The day he died, she cashed in the money. 25-7, here's the conflict of a union. Dare I say, one of the most sacred unions of a mother and a child. We can debate all we want. There's cases of very negative situations, but it's showing 25-7. Oh, what do we have here? Of a serial nature. 3 hits and you become a serial killer. 16-7, serial killer. 16-7 also says the individual that consumed the poison, 6, death of innocence. An innocent was murdered through poison. Now, this has been the mystery for many years, whether she poisoned all 3, in fact. But in my opinion, the first 2 is like a glove, same glove used at the same crime, except she would have been peppering him with poison, perfecting her art as a nurse. And in the case of Rhodes, given a flask of coffee that day, March the 2nd, is now in trouble and dies 48 hours later. Imagine, 48 hours later only. The pain of that experience she perpetrated on her husbands and child, as it turns out. Gosh, what a revelation. Particularly if you follow the case. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go, Daisy de Melker case. And please leave your comments and thoughts. And stay safe, stay alert. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.